Tim here, Tier D Adventures. Hope everyone's all in well out there. As always, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. So today we're going to talk about like prepping or preparing to travel for a comp. I know a lot of people are starting to travel more out for comps and stuff like that. And sometimes the questions always rise, what all do I need to take? What works best in traveling or carrying certain things and stuff like that. Now, as far as this traveling, I'm talking about driving. I drive everywhere because I'm scared to fly. Now, when flying, it's actually a lot easier than most people would think. Lots of people that I know that do fly for larger tournaments coast to coast, they don't have any problems. And, they have it down to a science of what all is prepared and stuff like that. And one other thing to consider when packing up, what all do I need to take is, how far away is the event necessarily, or like how big? Is it just for one specific thing? Is it a full deal? Like if I'm just headed down to Oklahoma with the Extreme Oklahoma Crawler guys, I don't take as much as I normally do. Maybe just my normal carry-all bag and a few extra bolts and a couple pieces, nothing crazy. But if we're headed for another event like Scale Nationals, or for example, like right now, I'm heading off to King of Missouri. So one, this video helps share a little bit of that, and also helps me make sure I have everything ready to go as well. So first off, when it comes to traveling, one thing, your trucks. I think it should be given to make sure all your trucks are in working order. I just powered up every single one of my trucks, went through all the motions, servo, motor, make sure throttle, everything's good, make sure my winch is running good, in and out, no binding, the winch line out, make sure there's no cuts or anything like that, and if there is, I just swap all that out. So step one, make sure your trucks are in working order and get them taken care of. Now for also this event, there's a lot going on, so I will be taking quite a bit of trucks with me. My normal comp trucks, trail trucks, bouncers, concourse stuff, the whole nine. So first up, controllers. Controllers are a very important part of the RC. Without the controller, you can't do anything. And some controllers more than others are more fragile and stuff like that. You don't always just necessarily want to just toss them in the bed of the truck or the back of the truck, anything like that. So when I'm traveling to a longer distance event, I like to put everything in a little case. This is like a Pelican style case. This is nothing fancy. You can pick these up from like Harbor Freight for like 20, 40, 50 bucks, depending on the size and stuff like you want there. They are really nice. They come insulated and stuff like that. And the bottom one here is the pull and pluck. So I can pull out what I needed to shape my controller. So for example, I have the Noble in here, all good. And I'm also going to have my DX5 Pro in here because that is my backup controller. So I'll have both of those and the respective lanyards in here. Everything cut. Good to go. Nothing's shaking around. Nothing's going to fall on it. Nothing's going to crack a screen or anything like that. So on top of controllers, another item that you want to be careful with when you're traveling with them, one, because they are in nature, they are kind of dangerous. You don't want anything falling on them, breaking, any exposed stuff like that, are your batteries. Now for a larger event like this, I'm going to be taking several batteries with me. I will have all my comp batteries. I will have some trail batteries. I will have the batteries for the SCX6. So traveling with the batteries, always with LiPos, better safe than sorry. Now at the bare minimum, I'm recommending at least getting a good LiPo bag to put everything in and just make sure everything's good. Now this LiPo bag happened to be the perfect size and fit. So I have all my batteries in the LiPo bag, and then again, Harbor Freight to the rescue, pick up a metal ammo can. And like I said, this one just fit perfectly because then it fits perfectly inside the ammo can. Everything goes in and it shuts and secured. Easy to carry around, and it's strong and sturdy. I don't have to worry about stuff falling on it, bumping it, or stuff like that. LiPo bags, for the most part, are not a very expensive item, and it's just extra layer protection. And those ammo cans, you get those at Harbor Freight for like $7 or $8, maybe $5 if you have one of the coupons from their mailing letter. So next up, I like to also some spare parts, nuts, bolts, extra stuff like that. So I generally pick up a couple of the, clip-on, stack-on, multi-organizer deals. And inside here, I'll have a variety of different things. Drive shafts, extra set of shocks, diff gears, portal gears, pinions, a couple extra spur gears, and just an overall general set of just randomness is stuck in here. And I like the stackable ones because if I do have another one here, if I need to, if I have more stuff, I just stack them together. And it just makes carrying that type of stuff around pretty easier. So I always, like I said, a lot of my bulk random stuff that I don't take with me on necessarily every time I go out to some local comps or some local trailing, be more like, kind of my rare stuff that can break, but I don't break all the time. Emergency box. And the next thing, this just goes with me anytime I go out trailing, whether it's local or if I'm traveling down to Oklahoma, or, you know, something where I'm not spending a couple days at a comp. If it's just a one-day comp, this is what I take. This is the Carry-All RC V2 bag. This is the G-Speed edition with the carry there. But inside here, I have just about, again, a gist of everything here, from an extra just nut and bolt bin, random parts, drive shaft pins, hexes, wheel nuts, stuff like that, extra winch line, winch hooks, servo horns. Also in here, I have a full set of tools in here just in case anything happens, dikes, cutters, Lexan scissors, all the hex bits, everything in there. Also, this is where I keep like lipo checkers and also batteries for my controllers, like extra battery for the DX5 or some AA batteries. Whether I need them or someone else needs them, I have a few extra just in case it's needed. Also in this bag, that is also very important, especially depending on the time of year you're comping and where you're comping at, sunscreen and bug spray. Those are always in this bag. Also in here, I will have like a first aid kit, other little random bits, and like electronics. Like I have my GoPros and such in here, maybe a couple extra servos, extra motor, extra ESC. You never know. For a bigger event like this, rather, I like to always be a little bit over prepared. Even if it's not necessarily for me that I don't need it, but someone else needs something, be like, hey, I got you. We can get you fixed up and get you back on the rocks and having some fun. And you heard me mention a little bit ago, lipo checker. Again, that is just something that should probably just be in your box with your batteries, which I have one there. Anytime you're going to comps or you're at events, I always recommend having a lipo checker handy. Like this one here, I have it on the outside of my bag, so I can use it, anyone else can use it. I always, before I run, check the voltage on the battery. You don't want to be through gate 6 or gate 8 and your battery dies. That is like the worst. It's happened to me. I've done it on accident. I was like, oh, I checked that. Turns out I didn't check it. My truck battery died at like gate 7. Hopefully, have a lipo checker handy. And this bag makes it pretty convenient. This bag just goes with me from course to course. This will be with me the entire time. Wherever I'm at, judging or running, this bag will be very close to me at any times I'm at any events. Also for like trailing, because it's a carry-all bag, it has the spots and everything. I can put a whole nother truck on the back of it if I need to. And with all the accessories it has and stuff, it does make comps a lot easier. Extra motor, ESC, servos, electronics are always good to have. A couple extra receivers too, because I mean, electronics are just some things that, you know, you can feel an axle and be like, that's a little catchy. Let me look at that. Electronics, everything can be working great, and then the next minute, stuff happens. So it's always good to have spare electronics on standby. Also, especially if it's going to like a new area or something like that. One thing, and I've mentioned before in other videos, I always bring a couple extra sets of wheels and tires. Tires just hook up better in some areas versus other tires. Maybe it starts to sprinkle or rain, or maybe there's parts of the courses to a little more of the natural terrain than you had expected. Always good to be prepared on which tire is going to get you to get from gate 1 past gate 10 with the least amount of issues and the best total performance. And also, you know, just depending on kind of where you're at, what the weather's like that day, it's always good to have a variety of hats. Like I always generally will have normal baseball cap on, but lately with like the sun, like in Oklahoma and stuff like that, in these areas where you can just be in the sun, a big old hat will do you great. I picked this one up for the Oklahoma comp and works great. Covers everything, has a little neck cover, and that tucks up in there if needed. Like you can't make fun of big hats at events like this. They are way more convenient and way nicer than you think they are. So King, Missouri is a larger event. There's lots of people there. There will be everything from new drivers to experienced drivers. And sometimes people, you know, may forget things and stuff like that. So for bigger events, I do always bring my Surface here. With the Surface, I have all my tuning softwares loaded for like my silent ESCs, and I have CastleLink in here and everything. So in case something software happens on one of mine, I can fix it. Or if someone's like, hey, my drag brake's not working, I think the settings are off, we can plug it in and change all that and check everything right there. So one other thing that I purchased earlier this year that's turned out to be super, super helpful, and you take it to lots of comps. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one. I know people have their preference and there are other methods, but I picked up this Milwaukee battery adapter that comes with a normal household plug. And then it also has spots for regular USB and USB-C, and it works with the 18-volt batteries. Clips on just like that, and then you can choose to power on the USB or the cord, and works great because I have a surplus of M18 batteries because that is what I use primarily at work and at the house. And I find it to be really nice, especially like if I have like the kiddo with me. If there's a lot of downtime or we're just playing around, we need to charge something or charge up a phone, we can use it to charge up a phone, or I have my charger with me too if I want to top off a battery in between runs. Boom, good, ready to rock and roll, and it does last for quite some time. So Really like that purchase a lot. I've used it every time I've been at a comp for some reason or another. And I said, that's not necessarily a necessity. That's definitely something that I like having at comps with me. So like I said, this just kind of goes through my process. What all I take. Yes, I kind of do go overboard on certain areas, especially traveling to larger events, but I like to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Just like my always argument when people ask like trucks, 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So this is kind of why I pack and take what I do. So again, trucks, good, working order, fixed before your comp and all running. Just double check, maybe the night before, 2 days before, check everything, make sure everything's good, and then I'm off to the side. Controller, storage, check. You want to make sure your controller is good, secure, tight. Batteries, you want to make sure your batteries are charged. Either you charge before and you're going, or you charge there. And also batteries, storage. At least a LiPo bag at bare minimum to have your batteries in, preferably a LiPo bag inside like an ammo container. I just find that works out really, really well. Spare parts, bolt drawers, stuff like that. Good stackable container. You can fit a lot of stuff in there. You can organize every little thing if you want to, or just put it all in there so hey, it's at least in there. Then, like I said, I have a bag that I just take with me in between courses. Wherever I'm at, that bag is with me. So that has all my tools in it, LiPo bags, battery checkers, stuff for me right then at the comp that I'm going to be needing. Maybe a servo horn takes a spill or starts getting a little wonky at the end of one course. I can change it out and move on to the next course. Extra electronics, totally up to you and what you're capable of taking, but I always at least recommend a full set. Just a servo, motor, and ESC, and even a receiver. Just covers your electronics in case something happens, or donor trucking, so I can swap stuff around if I need to. Extra stuff just to complement, kind of where you're going. Different wheel and tire setups, sunscreen, bug spray, big hats, little hats, umbrella, full canopy, whatever suit you need, and it's going to make you comfortable. Also lawn chairs. Lawn chairs, I forgot to mention, lawn chairs are very good to have an event. Pop one out, sit there, wait in line, do your thing, have fun, go through the courses. And then, like I said, other stuff is just kind of personal preference, like the portable charger here, or a full laptop, stuff like that. That's just personal preference, and I like to have it there, not necessarily if I need it, but in case someone else needs it, we have stuff ready to rock and roll. And honestly, I think that'll wrap it up, and I think that made me get my checklist checked. I think I have everything ready, so I'm going to finish packing up. Clothes. You do need to pack clothes, turns out. You do need stuff to wear at the comp. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel below. If you are headed to King, Missouri, safe travels, and I will see you very soon. We're going to have a blast this year. It looks to be an absolute great event. Super excited for that. Again, be really nice to see everybody again, catch up with some old friends. Let's get out there. Let's hit some gates. So until then, everyone, have a great one and crawl on.